Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another video. It's actually about 10 p.m. on Tuesday, February 7th. I thought I'd quickly make this video as kind of an appendix to the videos that I released yesterday. I do have Duchess out here with me. She wouldn't let me come out here unless she came with me, so she's protecting me from all the deer that are over there. I just shined my flashlight off into the woods and a whole bunch of little green dots reflected back. So if you ever shine a bright flashlight in the direction of deer, you'll see green dots. Kind of interesting. And there's about, 60 of them. So I'm guessing there's about 30 deer over there, unless some of them have 4 eyes or 1 eye, plus minus. Okay, so as you guys can tell, I'm in a little bit of a better mood just because we spent a lot of time today just keeping on top of GM and keeping on top of the dealership. And what's great about the whole thing is I finally decided this morning to just insert myself into the process completely. You know, I told both the dealership and General Motors this morning in writing. I said, how can I help facilitate this? And I was trying to be nice about it, and I literally said something along the lines of, listen, I know you guys are busy, you guys have meetings, you guys, sell cars, but I literally am the one that's suffering here, and I am literally the one that can help keep communications in check and get paperwork relayed or requests relayed if they're not coming through or whatnot. And it turns out that I hit the nail on the head with that last part. So this morning there was a request from GM sent to the dealership asking them for the buyer's order. It's the document, I'm guessing, that has all of the order information on it, the order number, et cetera, et cetera. And they requested that last night. This morning we found out it never came through. The request for that document never came through. So what I decided to do was I was just sending screenshots of the opposite party's conversation to the opposite party. So if I got a message from GM, I screenshotted that and I sent it to the dealership. If I got a message from the dealership, I screenshotted that and sent that to General Motors. And that actually, believe it or not, I think solved the problem. I don't know if it was too many cooks in the kitchen. I don't know what was happening, but suffice it to say, there was a lot of crosstalk. Crosstalk is an IT industry term that's used to denote interference in telecommunications. So if you have a wire that is adjacent to, like if you have a network wire that's adjacent to a power line, you're going to get interference or crosstalk. So you're going to have information jumping into a place where it shouldn't be. Or in our case, it was just not coming through at all. So, which is also, kind of a concept of crosstalk. Anyway, I noticed early on this morning, we got a ton of stuff done, between, the dealership and us and everything and General Motors. It seemed like it was just happening really quick. And I think a lot of stuff was, there was a lot of laundry being aired out too, because, I was able to point out like, hey, General Motors asked for this. You guys didn't send it. Well, we did send it. Well, they didn't receive it. So, who's telling the truth? And pointing out all of this stuff kind of made people jump up in their seats. And in some ways, I felt kind of like I was micromanaging the whole stack, but as it turns out, that is exactly what needed to happen. Come here, Dutchie, come here. Don't cry. That is exactly what needed to happen, and it worked out. It worked out for everybody involved because, okay, I'll give you an example. So a document that was required, that was asked for, was supposed to be sent to General Motors. On the receiving end, the coordinator was, on the receiving end, the coordinator was looking at a fax machine or looking through piles of paper that were received in her office, but yet nobody told her anywhere in writing or on the phone or any which way that there was a fax. No faxes were sent. Everything was done during through email. And the hysterical part about it was that all of this became just a written record now. The lunacy that transpired, I was able to then kind of show it to them like, hey, this is how you guys operate. You guys are operating at a level of lunacy that goes beyond elementary school. And I hate to say that, but I feel like, boom, like that, problem solved. Okay, so now that we have all of the required documentation, now that we have all of the requests taken care of, and we verified several times over that General Motors is happy, we verified several times over that the dealership is happy. I just use my bright flashlight to light up, make sure there's no deer coming at us, especially with Dutches out here. So with all of that stuff taken care of, they finally were able to give me a date when the contracts are going to come through. So the back office has to do all this legalese, all this, I don't know, it's like some kind of paperwork that ties the dealership into agreement with GM. There was nothing specific. This is all just speculation on my part based on how it's all turning out. So the fact that nothing can happen without a physical package arriving at the dealership tells me that there's signed documents or notarized documents or something that hold some kind of a legal value, which kind of makes sense if you think about it. Dutchie, are you still here? Dutchie. Oh, there you are, sweetheart. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So that package is scheduled to arrive on Monday, February 13th. Now, I do feel the need to point out that I am going on a road trip. We have a family event scheduled between the 14th and the 20th. So, as always, we're cutting stuff down to the bone, really close. And unfortunately, again, this road trip will probably be done with a rental, or we're going to take my wife's car, depending on how, costs and everything. We'll do a budget and stuff this week, and we'll figure out if we can rent a more comfortable, larger SUV like a Highlander, or we actually rented a Jeep Cherokee a while back that was really, really spacious, and we really liked it. But anyway, the last thing I wanted to do for this trip was to drive up in a nice vehicle because of how expensive the trip was going to become. Charging up adds hours to the trip, especially in a Bull TV with a 55 kilowatt maximum charging speed. But you know what? You're still going to get out. You're still going to deal with the human element. You're still going to stop by and get food and use the restroom and run around. And we're doing this during the day. It's not a nighttime trip like my trip to Washington, D.C. was, where I cannonballed it up north and then back in the same day. I do those trips. I love those kind of trips, by the way. Road trips like that are what I live for. I totally enjoyed that trip. That truck was fantastic. But anyway, so we're going to figure that out. So as always, we're cutting stuff down to the bone. I don't know for sure if, what time they'll get the paperwork. If the dealership gets the paperwork close to closing, which I don't know what their hours are, to be honest, but depending on how long it takes for them to process all of that and lay it all out, it could be that I have to wait until I get back, which will be on the 20th, to actually pick up the vehicle. And maybe we'll do it on the way back, like from when we drive back from Pennsylvania, we'll drive past the dealership, we'll stop by and maybe complete the transaction. I don't know. That's all kind of up in the air, and of course you guys will be along for the trip. Anyway, we'll do a time lapse of the trip, and we'll show how we do things, because we're hoping to party hardy. And also February 15th is my birthday, and my old man's birthday is 4 days later, so another day older, deeper in debt, right? One of my teachers used to say that back in high school. I guess they modified the old John Henry song, Old John Henry, and somehow made the words, another day older and deeper in debt over that. I don't know. I'd have to kind of think about it and remember it, and then maybe I'll put it down in the description. But suffice it to say, I'm in a better mood. I feel like we closed a lot of obstacles and variables today. A lot of stuff. I mean, just a lot of little things. Dutchie, you just almost knocked over the camera. You want to be in the shot? Well, come on up here. Say hello to everybody. There you are. Yeah, say hello. There you go. She can't see the camera because the light is in her face. Okay. Okay, you're tired. You want to go inside? Okay. All right, guys. The Duchess has spoken, so we're going to cut it off here. I'm going to take her back inside. It is kind of cold out here, but I thought I would at least stop in for a minute and get you guys, some closure on this. We'll see what Monday brings out, but for now we have, it's Tuesday, so we have 3 more days until we know what's what. So we'll see what we can come up with between now and then. I really hope from the bottom of my heart that this is it, because the one thing that came from today was a sigh of relief. Just because of everything that we were dealing with, everything that was coming from this, it was really tough. It was a really tough pill to swallow. The whole experience was just ridiculous. And today is my first day of peace, and I feel like, right now it's just after 10 o'clock on Tuesday, February 7th, and I feel like I can go to bed and be asleep in a matter of minutes, as opposed to tossing and turning and staring out, off into the distance, wondering what's next, what's to come. So, with that said, I'm going to leave it off there. As always, go down in the comments below. Leave me your thoughts. Thank you to everybody who's left me positive words of encouragement and everything else, just to stay strong with the process. I really appreciate your words. They did help me actually overcome a lot of anger, hostility, everything all at once, sadness. There were tears, which was also weird to begin with, but anyway, I really appreciate you guys. So have a good evening, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.